What up, y'all? It's your boy Demuir here, purveyor of all sounds underground. Thanks again for joining me on this YouTube Wednesday. I appreciate you guys subscribing and getting into things. It's been a while since I shared a particular producer tip, but I'm going to take a little bit of a different spin. It's not necessarily about technical techniques, but just some stuff I think people would need in this game as they continue to progress. So it's three key things you got to think about. And the way this came about for me was I saw a post about the things we do as a DJ and producer culture in the underground music market, and some of the bullshit we put up with, like, really undercutting our value and taking bullshit gigs. Is a fine line between, doing things to be a part of the journey, and also things that are just downright disrespectful to not only yourself but setting a precedent in the culture. And I just wanted to say a few key things about it, because long time ago my dad gave me this lesson about being humble and eating humble pie, and I think that's definitely relevant for all things in life, especially in this music game and success. But it's definitely something that cannot be applied to all things. Where I've landed in conclusion is to be respectful, but not to take any shit. Okay, so there's three key things I'll step through. So first is local bullshit. This is not local to your town, it's a global phenomena. I've spoken to many big name DJs and producers who all had the same problem, no matter at what point they are in their careers, where the local factions kind of define how things run in the city. Despite all of the great work you've done in your contributions, you still ain't getting put on or recognized for it. And my advice on that is just not get caught up on it, because there's no point in trying to figure out how to build relationships after a certain amount of time, where if there's people that just don't want to recognize your value and your work to the game and to the culture. It's time for you to just keep it moving and focus on what's at hand and available in the world, because the world is a bigger place and you got a lot more people out there who appreciate what you're doing. Don't leave it to a handful of people to define what your value and what your worth should be. And it's shameful that this happens to a lot of people locally. I'm happy to say that it's been the minority, not necessarily the majority in terms of my experience in the local stuff. But again, at the end of the day, the world is a bigger place and you should be focusing on the value of that. The other piece is that it's your circus and your monkeys. And what I mean by that is, you have these situations where you might get turned down by a certain label, or or you wanted a certain mix to get out on a podcast you've been kind of dreaming about and looking for that level of exposure. And sometimes the reality is that you may be on to some new shit that not everybody is up on. And it's a delicate fine line between confidence and just knowing when you're getting caught up in your ego. But I'm here to say that, there was a time when a lot of jacking labels and different record labels weren't paying attention to my stuff, and I never let it discourage me. Rather, I just saw it as a lot of that is just good feedback and stuff that just wasn't a fit for their label right now. And as you build your influence and your skill set, people will eventually get on to what you're cooking up in your studio and what you're putting out there. And that's what I mean by it's your circus and your monkeys, because eventually, if the talent is raw and people respect your grind, they'll get on it. The last piece in this tip is to not worry about what the 10% of the 10% is saying. There'll always be fucking haters out there. I mean, you can do some really, really great work, and even some of those same haters will put you on and put you up on blast and say, you're an amazing talent and blah blah blah. But at the moment they feel that they're not at that level that you're at, or they're worried about your level of progress, you start to see some of the hate coming through. And I mean, thankfully it's been the minority in most of the cases I've seen, and I just wouldn't give them the time of day. And the other thing is just not to get caught up in these troll fucking wars with people who just start shit to start shit. If you get caught up in those level of arguments, eventually people, depending on where they are in terms of the passion and the debate and the exchanges that are happening between the two of you, it'll be hard to distinguish who started the shit, and in most of the cases it's hard to follow what the fuck you're arguing about. So that to me is just a waste of time and energy. And the 10% of the 10% are just people who are usually not about shit, ain't doing shit, and just spend most of their time talking about shit. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with those. Keep it moving, keep it bouncing. It's your boy Demuir here. Keep rocking it, stay up on your grind. Go.
Man, I'm just out here working, you know what I'm saying? Gonna get some shit done. While y'all trolling on the fucking internet, trying to start some shit to sell more fucking whack records. I work, baby. That's right, I work. Where the fuck you at? I like it when some of y'all motherfuckers just walk right by me. You don't know who the fuck this is, or whatever the fuck is going on. The one with that one motherfucker you've been checking